Good afternoon, everybody. We are back with more talk of wide receivers that are going to go probably in the first round. And we're starting off here with the guy who was kind of my favorite until recently, and honestly, might still be my favorite despite some bumps in the road here. So, Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison, USC Trojan, formerly a Pittsburgh Panther, 21 years old, 5'11, 173 pounds. So, little bit of lack of sand in the pants, I guess you could say. Almost 31-inch arms, 8 3/4 inch hands. It's kind of small hands. But what does he have where it counts? Well, the combine results threw me off a little bit, and they still hold some weight with me. 4.49 40, not that great. Like, that's, basically a 4.5. The Seahawks are known for not drafting 4.5 receivers. For a guy this small, you would want a little bit better, I think. 10-yard split, 1.56, not great. 34-inch vert, okay, I guess. 10-foot 2-inch broad, yeah, whatever. I don't know. It was an underwhelming combine for a guy who I was kind of hyped on going into the combine. I'm still relatively hyped, but I don't know. Everything has to be taken into account, right? So, despite that, Jordan Addison, at the moment, at the very least, is still a universally considered top round pick. He's going to go in those top 30 picks almost certainly. Every big board has him at least 26th. One actually has him 13th. The aggregate has him at 21. So he may very well be available right around our pick. He might be one of the BPAs at number 20. So the question is, would you take him at 20? Because that is almost certainly what it's going to take to get him. I don't think you're going to get him at 37. So last 2 years, he's played for two different teams, and that's part of the appeal here, I think. He missed a couple games for USC last year. Would have pretty easily had 1,000 yards if he didn't get hurt. In 11 games, he had 59 catches, 875 yards, 8 touchdowns. Also does a little bit of work as one of these wide backs, I guess you call them, like the Debo role. Not a lot, but a little bit. They use him in that role enough to make it feel like it's something he could do. Year before was his really good year. It was with a Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh. 14 games, 100 catches, almost 1,600 yards, 17 touchdowns. And he also gave you 56 yards and a touchdown on the ground. So that was the year when he let everybody know that he was serious about this. So Jordan Addison, the production speaks for itself. He did it with different quarterbacks. He did it with different coaches, different offenses, different everything, man. They went one side of the country to the other side of the country and produced. So you can't take that away from him. But where do we land? How do we combine his production with his attributes? So the good things about Addison, he's got excellent route running. I was watching these cut-ups of some of the routes he was running at USC, and just finds these ways to get open in very small amounts of space. Just finds ways to build distance with defensive backs. He's got great hands, too. Even though they're small, he catches pretty much everything that comes his way. He finds a way to contort his body to at least get his hands on it. If he has a chance to bring in the ball, he's probably going to do it. One thing I should say, though, is he actually did drop a lot of passes in Pittsburgh, and then when he went to USC, the drops kind of went away. So there is a history there. It seems like he's moved past it, but hey, it's 1 year. It wasn't even a full year technically, so maybe that's something that'll come back. We'll have to see. He had success for multiple teams, like I said. He gets open on all different kinds of routes. I saw him get open on deep stuff. Saw him open on in-breaking stuff. He's running, some of these screen passes. He shows the ability to produce on screens with running after the catch, which, hey, that's one of the things that gets my attention because, Waldron wants to be running those bubble screens. Whether or not he'll be able to, I don't know. But that is supposed to be part of this offense. So a receiver like a Jordan Addison, who has shown a propensity to catch passes around the line of scrimmage and make things happen with the ball in his hands, that's pretty appealing. He is on the smaller side, and because of that, I think he's going to struggle as a blocker. I do think he's going to lose effectiveness as an outside receiver, although I will say this. Even though he's smaller than Jackson Smith, I get more of an indication that he'll find a way to be somewhat successful on the outside. It's like a Tyler Lockett thing, right? Where Tyler Lockett, initially, I didn't know if he was going to be able to be successful as an outside receiver, but he proved himself. He was able to overcome some of his physical limitations and succeed out there. When I look at Addison and I look at his body control, I look at his route running, I look at his hands, I just see a little bit more of an outside receiver than Jackson Smith, which, even though I think Smith is probably a better player, I think Addison might be more useful to the Seahawks. So, he is coming off a somewhat notable injury. He had a I think it was like, what was it, a broken ankle that caused him to miss his bowl game. So he is coming off a little bit of a notable injury. He's not got top-end speed. 4.49 speed is not going to outrun a lot of defensive backs at the NFL level. So the combine made me wonder about Addison a little bit, but there's a lot here that I like. He's versatile. He can get open on all different kinds of routes in all different kinds of situations. I think he's a good fit for this offense. I think I'm more interested in him than I am in a couple players who I might consider to be better just because of the fit. I would say he makes some sense at 20, but maybe not enough. I wouldn't hate taking him at 20, but man, I think we can do better as well. Okay, Zay Flowers is going to be my second receiver we look at in this video, and the final receiver that I think is likely to go day one, round one. Boston College product, 22 years old. You're going to read some of this stuff and you're going to think Tyler Lockett. 5'9", 182 pounds, small but not tiny. 29.25-inch arms, short arms, but relatively decent hands, 9.25-inch hands. Ran a pretty nice 4.42. 10-yard split was okay, 1.53. Vertical, almost 36 inches, decent enough. Broad jump, 10 feet 7 inches, nice, workable. Every big board that I saw has him going in the late first, except for Sports Illustrated. They have him going early second. I expect him to go late first. Right now, the aggregate has him 27th. Seems like he's going to go somewhere at the back end of the first round. Pretty productive in 2022. Played in 12 games, so he's got 2 straight seasons of 12 games. 78 catches last year, almost 1,100 yards and 12 touchdowns. Did a little bit of work as a wide back, got 12 rushing attempts, doing those jet sweep type things. Only 40 yards. The year before, he was actually a little more successful. He averaged almost 10 yards a carry on 7 attempts. So, relatively productive the last 2 years, not huge. But what can we say about this guy just beyond the underwear Olympic results and the stats? Well, Zay Flowers, even though he's small, actually was able to play outside at the college level. He was able to be an outside receiver. And he had success on the outside, and he had success as a slot. So there's a little bit of possible versatility here. He's very good after the catch. You get the ball in his hands. He's able to make players miss. He's able to get his moves going. He's able to bring that lateral agility into play. And he's going to make big plays after the catch. He is somebody who can catch a short, quick pass and turn it into a big play. He's got great routes, great route runner. He showed this at the combine as well as in his games. So he's bringing a lot of those positive traits to the table. He tracks the ball very well. He locates the ball in the air very well. He makes a lot of difficult catches in tight coverage. Like, he's not going to be cheated out of catches here. Even if the defender's right on him, he's going to find a way. Again, you're reading a lot of this stuff and you're kind of thinking Tyler Lockett, Tyler Lockett, Tyler Lockett. And I understand why. It makes sense. He's fantastic for quick, short catches and screenplays. So that's maybe old Tyler Lockett, not so much now. And he's got the speed to burn people deep. 4.4 speed, pretty legit. Not a super burner, but he's going to be able to burn players deep where guys like Jackson Smith won't necessarily be able to. Now, I do wonder how much of that is going to translate to the NFL. He is 5'9", 180 pounds. Some players have been able to overcome that, like Tyler Lockett. That doesn't mean Zay Flowers will be able to. When he goes to the NFL, will he be able to beat press coverage? Will he be able to beat press man? Will he be able to play outside in general and be productive? I don't know. In college it worked. That doesn't always mean it's going to work in the NFL. And I do think he has a chance. Like, I think he has a better chance of succeeding as an outside receiver than Jackson Smith. But if he doesn't, and you're only getting a slot receiver, that definitely changes the equation here. So that's a big thing that the Seahawks need to figure out here. And also, while he does make difficult catches, it's almost like this Odell Beckham thing where he will drop some of the easy ones. He actually dropped a lot of passes at Boston College. And if he doesn't improve his hands in the NFL, that's going to be a big problem for him. He, like I said, it's almost Odell-like. Makes difficult catches, contested catches, and then he drops the easy ones. So I just, most of my issues with him as a player, though, like the drops are something that can be improved on. And unless he's dropping like a pass a game, it's not the devastating factor that some people make it out to be, I think, to drop a pass every few games. But will he be able to handle press coverage? I don't think he'll be able to block. Like, as a blocker, he's going to have problems. 5'9", 180 pounds, he's going to get pushed around as a blocker for sure. But I can live with that. What I can't necessarily live with is him being a slot only. Because even though he did line up outside in college, he saw a lot of free releases in college that he won't necessarily see in the NFL. So, I don't know. I get the appeal here. This guy's very similar to Lockett, just with the drops, right? Like, you look at this Zay Flowers, and it's like, okay, second coming of Tyler Lockett, we just need to get him better hands, which may or may not happen. But it's more than just that. He needs to be able to overcome some of the physical limitations that Lockett has overcome so well. And I'll say it again. Just because Lockett did it doesn't mean Zay Flowers is going to do it. And if he really is a slot-only receiver in the NFL, somebody who needs to get that free release at all times to be able to be successful, somebody who is going to get pushed around and bullied because he's a smaller player and drop passes, I don't know if I see the first-round value. Now, I'm not against it at 20, kind of like I was with that. I feel the same way about him that I do Addison. It makes some sense at 20. Heir apparent to Tyler Lockett, he can play in the slot for now. I understand the idea behind it. I just don't think it's quite good enough for me to actually get, like, pumped about it. It would be okay, but I think we can do better at 20. All right. See you guys later today. Go Hawks. More videos coming.